Yo, what's good? What is good? Good afternoon, everybody. Good evening, wherever you're at in the world. It's your boy, the definition of anarchy, Tyrant's Bane, whatever you want to call me. Snap the gorilla, Snap Turtle, whatever. It is Sunday. What was it? April 14th, 2024. And I am on my way back to Georgia for another week of work. Yep. So I'll be headed out. I'm headed out there. Spent the weekend with my family. Took my oldest daughter to her second dance, and my second oldest daughter to her first dance. So that was real special for me. I love spending time with my kids. I cannot wait until I'm able to get back to being with my family full time. But you know, in the meantime, you gotta do what you gotta do, and it is what it is. Do me a favor, everybody, when you get in here, hit the like button, please, and get the algorithm working for your boy as much as it can. You know, they shadow banning your boy. You know, they don't want me to advance. You know, y'all know what it is. But this afternoon, one of the things I want to talk about, because I got another live stream set up for later, and that's about boxing, which I'm a heavy boxing enthusiast. I love it, and you know, I like talking about it, and sometimes I like to get out what I say, you know, have to say about boxing right on here. So that's going to be a later live stream. This live stream is about Isra-Hell and Iran, and the United States. Now, it's been a minute since I did any content on anything, period. And so, what's up, Lulu? Lulu, oh my God. It's been a minute since I've seen a Lulu up in here. Anyway, you know, it's been a minute since I did any oh, they're fucking with my live already. Y'all. It's a good thing I'm such a great defensive driver. So this motherfucker right here, let me show y'all, because he might do some crazy shit again. See that car to the right? He decided, while barely out of my blind spot, about right there, she decided that she was going to come over into my lane, and I had to slow down in order to avoid getting sideswiped by her. And, you know, I was able to react fast enough to avoid that. But anyway, I don't get it, man. Anyway, you know, what is she doing? And now she's back over in that lane, driving slow. Anyway, good thing I'm a good defensive driver. Anyway, even when I'm doing this live stream, I'm still paying attention to the road. And so, you know, that just testament to that. Anyway, back to this. So, a lot going on in the world, you know what I'm saying? A lot of bullshit, a lot of shit with the election, a lot of shit having to do with gun control. And the more I see out in the world and in the news and what's going on in current events, the more I recognize that this really is a clown world, right? We are living in a time where it's all about pushing a narrative. It's all about pushing a narrative to get, well, I've been understood that, right? It's all about pushing a narrative to get what you want done. And I'm talking about the powers that be, the so-called elites, right? They are out here trying to make shit happen toward a certain agenda. And it's always been like that. It's been like that since the advent of governance in the first place. Like, once somebody gets a taste of power, they want to maintain and wield that power by any means necessary. So they will do whatever it takes to make what they want to happen. And they think that certain things that have to happen in order for them to gain more power, they feel like, well, we have to set certain shit up. We got to make it look a certain way. We have to get the people on our side using evil machinations. I mean, it's absolutely asinine, right? And so what we have right now with this Israel and Iran thing, it's always like this, right? Hamas was blamed for the August, or what was it, August 7th attacks. I forgot what month it was, but it had something to do with the 7th. Hamas initiated that, right? And so what does Israel do? They go and attack the Gaza Strip, and they slaughter countless amounts of people, destroy hospitals, all this, that, and the third. And now, now they want to bring Iran into it. They're saying Iran has sent drones to them to attack Israel and all this, that, and the third. And now you have U.S. They're saying that we're now shooting down Iranian drones that are attacking Israel, right? Well, that is direct involvement in this conflict. That is direct involvement in this conflict. Israel is saying Iran is attacking them directly. They're no longer going through Hamas. They're no longer going through these different outfits in other parts of the Middle East. They're saying, well, Iran is doing this. Iran is attacking us. Iran is hitting us with drones and this, that, and the third. And we're just supposed to believe that, right? Because they told us. They told us, hey, Iran is attacking us with drones, and we're just supposed to believe it, and we're supposed to be okay with eventually Israel attacking Iran directly. Well, I want everybody to think about this. Iran has been a U.S. target for decades. Iran has been a U.S. target for decades. You know what I'm saying? And they're not always, but they have the backing of Russia, they have the backing of China, and all these different countries that hate us too. But Iran has been a target for decades, but they never really had a real reason to fuck with Iran to that degree. They had, these accords with Iran, you know what I'm saying, with in regards to nuclear power and all that. They didn't want Iran to have nuclear power. They didn't want them to have nuclear. And when I mean nuclear power, I'm talking about nuclear energy, right? Powering their country with nuclear power, because they were concerned that they would build nukes, right? Nuclear weapons. And so, yeah, this has been going on for decades. The United States has been trying to find a reason to attack Iran directly for decades. And now, because of this Israeli conflict with Hamas and now with Israel, they're saying, we are now directly involved, so they say, in striking Iranian drones with our own weapons. With our own weapons, the United States. And those weapons are being paid for by us, the U.S. tax cattle. So us U.S. tax cattle, the victims of extortion by our illustrious government, is paying for our military to start a war with Iran. And it won't just be a war with Iran. It will be a war with Iran. Russia will probably get involved. China maybe, so spark World War III. And this will cripple our economy. What's going on? The honest truth was good. Let's talk about it. What's good? Lock Mighty Mouse up. I'm with you on that. Let's lock Mighty Mouse up. Lulu was good. Why are you avoiding Mighty Mouse? He's bragging about going to Los Angeles in a few weeks. Listen, I think this is mooch, right? I asked you, where is he going in LA? When is he going to be there? I haven't seen anything about Mighty Mouse going to LA. He no longer, from what I understand, has a YouTube channel, so I don't know where he could be bragging about this from. I have no idea what Mighty Mouse is doing. If you give me some information, because I tell you what did happen. You told me months and months ago that he was going to Watts to do something at an organization in Watts. That was months ago. And during that time, he was supposed to be going to Watts within a few days or a few weeks. Well, guess what? I made some phone calls. Didn't see anything about him going to Watts after that. You see how that worked? You gave me a location, and you gave me a win. You gave me an organization. I was able to make phone calls, and I haven't seen anything about Mighty Mouse going to Watts, to a nonprofit organization for children. So, you know, what was I supposed to do? Come on here and talk about it? I don't know anything about what Mighty Mouse is doing. I haven't heard he was going to LA. You're the only person that is saying this. I don't know anything about it. I'm not avoiding Mighty Mouse. I have no reason to avoid Mighty Mouse. Fuck Mighty Mouse. Period. Cash the Machine MMA. All right, I'll check that out. Let's get her done. That's what I'm talking about, LA believers. No, I'm not avoiding Mighty Mouse. I had no idea he had a new channel. Like, and his son, oh, look, a fucking dead armadillo on the side of the road. Anyway, I had no idea he had a new YouTube channel. Cash is his son's name. So apparently he's using his son's name to start. I don't know, but I'll check that out. If I get information about where he's going in Los Angeles, when, I can make some phone calls. But he was supposed to be going to LA for the last few months. And like I said, when I was able to be told, when y'all told me where he was going he was going to Watts to some organization, I was able to make phone calls and didn't hear nothing else about Mighty Mouse going to Watts since then. So, yeah, that it is what it is. Anyway, so all we need, his son is having some MMA match in LA. All right, so where in LA? I don't know where in LA is it. Now that's his son, right? His son is going, and of course he's probably going to be there with his son. So yeah, let me know where this fight is supposed to happen, and I can make a phone call. You know, and understand that if his son is an underage young boy, and you know, you're talking about possibly affecting his son in a negative way, trying to get at him. But for me, it's about him not being around children, you know, in organizations, right? But obviously, if his son is participating in MMA, Mighty Mouse is going to be around children. So, you know, it's just about getting the word out there, let people know what this dude is. He's a convicted child sex offender. And so when I did speak to people in regards to the Watts situation, I was able to convey that message. Like, look, this dude is a registered sex offender, and you want him to be around these children, it's on you. And so there you go with that. And it didn't happen, from as far as I understand. Anyway, so this is the deal. If we get into this with Iran, it can be a big problem for us over here, right? And how is it going to be a problem? Well, understand that there was a terrorist attack in Russia where these guys who were allegedly with Hamas went in and killed a bunch of people. I think it was 66 people or something like that. And, you know, they're saying that, well, the Ukrainians set it up, whatever the case may be. And they tortured these guys they were able to catch and all that. And now they're saying that something similar may be being orchestrated here in the United States, right? So if these guys that attacked the concert in Russia have ties to Iran or whatever, they might be able to use that to create a false flag event. You understand what I'm saying? And just think about that. Iran has ties to Russia. But they're saying that this terrorist group with ties to Iran and Hamas might have committed this act. And so that puts a tough, why would Iran have anything to do with attacking Russia? Right? Because, again, Iran has ties to Russia, right? Well, I don't know who was behind this attack in Russia, but it could be that they are setting the stage for an Iran-backed false flag here in the United States. And they can say, hey, look, they did it in Russia, and we're letting y'all know they might be doing it here. Bada boom, bada bing. False flag occurs, and now we're into it with Russia. But we know, we know that, you know, they have lied. And when I say they, I'm talking about United States government officials, right? Particularly Colin Powell was instrumental in pushing this false narrative about Iraq and weapons of mass destruction. Right? It was a blatant lie. There was no evidence of weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, but that was the premise upon which we invaded Iraq. Did I say Russia? That was the premise upon which we invaded Iraq. So don't be surprised if something happens, if there's like a Gulf of Tonkin type event that occurs. It might not even be in the United States. It might be like an attack on a aircraft carrier or something like that, or it might happen. I don't know. All I'm saying is they have a hard on for Iran. They have a hard on for getting into these conflicts, dragging us into conflicts and whatnot. So let's not be surprised if more shit happens, right? These drones attacked Israel. Okay, so they say it was Iran. How do they know that? Where are we getting this information from? And why should we believe Israel when they say anything? 22 Ronin was good. Why should we believe Israel? Why should we believe our own government? Why should we believe legacy media? We shouldn't, right? What we should believe, and what is well known, is that they are warmongers and they want us in conflict because that is what fuels their economy. And when I say their economy, I'm talking about their economy, which is separate from ours, right? Separate from us proletariats down here, you know what I'm saying, in the rank and file, in the slums, right? They have their own separate economy. And their economy depends on conflict because, you know, and why does it depend on conflict? Well, it's really about building an empire, right? Building an empire that they can be ruling over, right? So if they take Iran out of the picture, that just gives them more territory. You know what I'm saying? And the whole concern with Russia, the whole concern for Russia, and when in regards to Ukraine, was Ukraine becoming part of NATO. Well, they're now talking about Ukraine is going to be a part of NATO. Well, that was the whole reason Putin says that he wanted, because he don't want NATO countries all up on his goddamn country, right? And look at what's going on right now. We're talking about inducting Ukraine into NATO. So, I mean, it's all about setting the stage. It's all about spreading this empire. Spreading this empire so that they can hold sway over the entire world, right? Hold sway over the entire world so they can feed us bugs and have their way with our children, enjoy and control all the resources in the world, right? Put us in these 5-minute cities where everything that we need is within 5 minutes of our home. They don't want us to do anything but what they want us to do, right? Right? They don't want us to do it. They don't want us to go. They don't want us to be able to travel. They don't want us to be able to explore and get out. They want us to be stuck. And so this is where we're at. This is where we're at, right? Does U.S. have provisions? What do you mean, provisions? Of course they do. What do you mean, like the government? Does the government have provisions? Of course. If that's what you're asking, of course the government has. The U.S. has provisions, of course. They have things in place. And if you're asking that, so look, there's a good chance. Damn, my car clean. 22 Ronin, man. The whole thing with this, right, is that this shit can spill over into the United States geographically, right? It can't spill over because we think our government and all these other governments that are part of this whole, what they call that, the democratic world order, you know, they think they can just do whatever they want and that no one's going to push back. And in reality, they don't care if they push back because they have the bunkers. They can go. They have their bunkers. They have their, you know, they have their 24-hour security. You know, they have control of the military. So they feel like that they're very well insulated against any blowback, right? Blowback from anybody that they can get blowback from. Blowback from us. Blowback from enemy countries. Blowback from terrorists. They think they will not be affected. You know, this is the arrogance. This is the hubris that these people have. They think they can do whatever the fuck they want, and that's what they feel like. They feel like they can do whatever they want, and they're gonna get away with it. We ain't gonna do shit. And look, in reality, what are we really gonna do, right? They're flooding this country. Understand, they're flooding this country with millions of invaders. They're calling them migrants. They're calling them refugees. But there is no vetting process, right? There is no vetting process. They're just letting people in here. They're flooding this country with millions of invaders. And what is that doing? That is fostering potential attacks within the interior of this country. I don't know if you guys are aware, but there is a case that is in the courts right now. It's in the appeal courts, and it's probably going to go to the Supreme Court, where an immigrant got caught with some illegal firearms, right? And now you have people out here saying, well, they have the right to keep and bear arms. So now they're saying that immigrants can run around with weapons, right? And an appeals court judge said yes. They have this immigrant is protected by the Second Amendment, right? And think about it. It's a criminal migrant that had this firearm, which means he cannot, by man-made laws of this country, he cannot own a weapon, whether he was a fucking a migrant or not, because he didn't buy the thing legally. He didn't get it, you know what I'm saying? He didn't go through the background process. He just had the shit. But they're telling us that criminal migrants can do that and we can't. We can't do that, right? They want us to register everything, and now they're talking about, oh, well, if you profit by 1 penny when you sell your firearm, you gotta get an FFL and all this other bullshit. Like, that's gonna stop anything, yo. It's not, you know what's gonna stop? It's going to stop the law-abiding citizen from purchasing a firearm from their buddy. They're going to want to go through the proper channels to do all this shit. But a criminals have been selling firearms illegally for decades. They don't give a fuck about no goddamn getting the FFL. Are you serious right now? But this is what we have. This is what we got going on. They are giving migrants. They roll out the red carpet for these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? And as an anarchist, freedom of travel is very important. But because of this whole atmosphere that was created by the United States and by other countries that felt like we needed borders, and then creating enemies of other countries that have people that hate. Like, you can't, that freedom of travel, you understand that, yes, I'm an anarchist, but that doesn't mean that the person crossing that border coming up in here is an anarchist. And 9 times out of 10, they're not, right? They are socialists. They are, typically they come from socialist countries, and they want to flee their socialist countries because they feel like it'll be better here. But they're not coming here as anarchists. They're coming here to, burden the system that we put a lot of money into by force. And so, yeah, I can say, oh, well, there should be open border. No, you can't do that, right? Let's say this whole country became an anarchist country, right? Let's say, or a voluntarist. Like, you wouldn't just you couldn't be able to just open the borders. Why? Because people from other countries, like, let's say China will come over here and say, oh, these motherfuckers crazy. We're just gonna go over there and put them under our rule. Well, if we just do open borders, we're gonna let China come in. Come on, China, come on. We're anarchists. Come on over here. And yeah, no, it's not gonna work like that. No, we still have to defend our anarchy. We can't just let anybody come up in here unless they demonstrate that they are also anarchists. And that's just what it is. I'm an anarchist, but I am also a realist, right? I'm also a realist, and this whole country is not going to be anarchistic, right? That's why I say voluntarist, because you're going to have smaller communities within this country that are going to want to have a democracy, a democratic republic, socialist, socialism, whatever they want, as long as they keep it within the small confines of their own community, and the people within that community are voluntarily participating. So, in reality, you still need the borders have to be here, right? Because the system of having a border around countries has been around for centuries, and all the separate traditions, separate customs, separate laws of all these different countries, it just makes sense that it has to be like that. Anyway, by hearing by what's good, was just over here getting ready to drive on my way to Georgia. I'm actually probably in Georgia right now, enjoying the weather. It's 84 degrees, so your boy had to be comfortable. Am I saying Obama was tricked? Because if you are 100%. I can't really read that well. $6 get, I don't know. Am I 40 dog? You finna get some food in you? No, not till I get to the crib. Nope, about to get, I'm gonna have to order something, you know what I mean? Anyway, so, I just wanted to bring y'all attention to this. Because unlike the last war in the Middle East, lasted 20-something years, this might spill over right over here in the United States, right here within our borders. Understand that. Go out and get y'all some bang bangs and some freedom seeds. You understand what I'm saying? Get your own provisions. Make sure you have emergency food supplies stocked up. I do. I probably have about, I say 6 months worth of emergency food supplies. And, you just build it up over the years. Because a lot of it can be expensive. And then there are also short-term food supplies that you can get, canned goods, MREs, and stuff like that. With the MREs, they last about 3 years. fresh, but you can still eat it, I believe, up to like maybe 5 or 10 years, maybe. It just won't taste good. It'll, you know what I'm saying? And so this is why I'm bringing this up. What we have to do is understand that we have to build communities within this larger country, and we have to get prepared. We have to make sure that we're able to defend our own sovereignty, right? The little sovereignty we have within this country, because, or defend, be prepared for anything that might happen, any event that might occur. I don't know if you guys are aware, but they put out a map, right? Something prompted them to put out a map because they fear that, you know, they think they're saying Russia is threatening basically nuclear attacks, and they put out a map of the United States and which states are going to be most targeted. Unfortunately, South Carolina has a lot of motherfucking targets on this map. New York, LA, in Georgia and North Carolina, simply because of the military bases we have here. So, I mean, you know, it is what it is, though. You know, get the iodine. Make sure you guys are consuming iodine. You know, and just, you know, make sure your thyroid is full up with good iodine to, you know, to prevent nuclear poisoning. You understand what I'm saying? So there are different things that we have to do, and this is why I bring this to our attention, because I'm all about being a solutionary. I'm a solutionary at heart. There are solutions to every problem that we face, even if that problem seems insurmountable or beyond our control, which it is for the most part, because if our government is going around creating these problems and bringing it to us, right? Like flooding this country with all these invaders and, you know, just creating an atmosphere of making us terroristic targets. There's still things we can do to protect ourselves. There's still things we can do to survive. So that is why I bring this shit. When I talk about these things, it's about understanding what we can do. And I did the same thing when it came to Modelo 19, y'all. When it came to Modelo 19, I told us, you know, I gave information about what we can do, whether it was real or whether it was fabricated, whether, you know, whatever they did, whatever they were trying to do. I gave us solutions and ways and preventative measures to keep us from succumbing to this Modelo 19, right? They tell you to put on the face flag. What did I say? You go outside. What did I do? I demonstrated it. I went out and I rucked 3 days a week. Outside, in the fresh air. No face flag on my face. You know what I'm saying? And I talked about, hey, vitamin D. I talked about, hey, you know, keep yourself healthy. Eat the right foods. All this, that, and the third. Stay fit. And what did they tell you to do? They told you to stay in the house. They told you to wear face flags in the car by yourself. They told you to be prepared for the jab. And then they rolled out this jab. And I gave y'all information. Now, hey, I said, hey, this is the problem. They're telling us that the Modelo 19 is this deadly, but it's only attributed to 6% of the deaths associated with Modelo 19. You understand what I'm saying? And it said it on the CDC website. These are things that I brought to you guys' attention, not because I just wanted to spread fear and be a fearmonger. No, I said, hey, I showed y'all I had no fear in this Modelo 19 bullshit. Why? Because I had confidence in the fact that I was fucking healthy. I was, you know what I'm saying? Fit, going outside, getting that fresh sunlight, eating the right foods, not being ruled by fear. And I'm telling y'all the same thing today. I'm not saying, hey, oh, be worried about an attack by terrorists. No, I'm saying don't be terrified. Be prepared. Be alert. Be aware. You know what I'm saying? When you go out in large crowds, make sure you know what's going on around you. Make sure you know where your exits are. Make sure you are watching, right? Because I'm a people watcher. You know what I'm saying? I'm a people watcher, and I watch. You just got to be alert, be aware, know where you're at, know where you're going. You understand what I'm saying? And it's not about being paranoid, right? Because it's innate within us as human beings to be that way, right? Because we've only been in this sheltered existence for what, 100 years, 120 years? You know what I'm saying? You go back to the early 1900s. Hell, I mean, shit. That early 1900s, we didn't have all these creature comforts at all. This is fairly new, but it's really not. We're really not that sheltered at all, right? They're giving us the illusion of security. They're giving us the illusion of being secure, of being within comfort. They're giving us this illusion, right? When really, we are in more danger now than we were back then. Why is that? Look at what our children are being exposed to. Look how soft our children are, right? You know what I'm saying? Look at what's going on. Look how soft we are, right? Look how gullible and just we just believe everything. We just believe it. Everything that we're told by mainstream media, everything we're told by the government, we just go believe it. You know, because we don't want to think, we don't want to have critical thinking. And then when people present us with alternate viewpoints, we get mad, we call them conspiracy theorists, right? We say they should be locked up. I mean, think about this, man. There is a vegan scientist or some shit that went on a show and said that people like Ken Berry, who was a carnivore enthusiast, Dr. Sean Baker, saying they should be locked up for saying people should eat red meat. You know what I'm saying? This is what's going on right now. Right? By 2030, 1 in every 2 children are going to be autistic. This is what they're telling you. You know what I'm saying? They're telling you, they're seeing the trajectory. 1 in 2 children are going to be autistic, they're saying by 2030. They're telling us this. Why? Because it's by design. They want 1 in 2 children to be autistic. They're not telling us, well, how do we prevent that? How do we, prevent this? No. I got guys at work right now. A project manager, 2 superintendents. They're telling me that half their children are fucking autistic. You know what I'm saying? The project manager in my office has 2 autistic kids. And the superintendent, he has autistic children. And he's telling me stories about how his autistic kid is getting into fights at school and all it, like, bro. 1 in 2 children are going to be autistic. We are in more danger now than we have ever been. Because when our children become adults and they have to go out in the world and be responsible adults in this new world they're creating, they are not going to be equipped for anything. I have 6 kids. None of them are autistic. None of them are on the spectrum, right? And guess what else? None of them have been poked. None of them. I have no children that has ever been poked in their life. But guess what? Right? The guy at work, the guy I work with, that has 2 autistic kids, is telling me, because I told him my children don't get shots. We were talking about this migrant camp up in Chicago that had a measles outbreak. So they're telling us. Measles outbreak in a Chicago migrant camp. And, he's telling me, oh, your kids, I don't know, it's about protecting your children. I say, I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about that because my children are healthy, right? Measles is inflammation. right? It's an inflammatory disease. Most diseases are inflammatory. You have to do the things to prevent that said inflammation. Now, some things you can't prevent, right? Some things are congenital, some things, you just gotta equip your children the best way. And for me, the best way for me is not to have my children get jabbed, right? But it is to encourage a healthy lifestyle, going outside and playing in the sunlight, not sitting behind a desk for 8 hours a day in an institution, right? Eating the right foods, being happy, playing around, being children. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, my children get sick sometimes. I'm not saying my children never get sick. No, they get sick. They go through their sickness. We barely give them any medication. We might give them some Tylenol if they have a headache. Children's Tylenol, which I found do not affect my children negatively. You know what I'm saying? And then we also give them this stuff called, I forgot what it's called, but I'll tell you guys about it. But when it's like these little, it's a oxysoxo or some shit. But there's a bunch of little bottles within the package that has a lot of little beads in it, and you just open the tiny little bottle and you throw it, and they seem to feel better after that, right? For a little bit. And then when the symptoms start acting up again, boom, you give them another one. But they get through the sickness and they feel better, right? I don't sanitize my children's hands. I don't make them wear I don't put hand sanitizer on them every time they do something. No. After you eat, you wash your hands. After you use the bathroom, you wash your hands. After you play outside, you wash your hands. But we're not like scrubbing their hands with sanitizer. No, they use very mild soap that is designed to get certain particles off their hands, right? So my children are, they never been jabbed at all. So hell, they don't go to my children don't go to get checkups every year. They don't. Now, one of my children, right foot is turned in a little bit, so we took her to the chiropractor and osteopath, and she got. I was worried that she might have to wear a brace. No. She just gave my daughter an adjustment, a few adjustments, and said, "Hey, when you walk, try to deliberately turn your foot outward when you walk," because my daughter was having pain in her right leg from walking like that. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's gotten a lot better. So, I mean, yeah, if my children have issues like that, musculoskeletal issues, yeah, I'll take them to an osteopath, or I'll take them to a chiropractor. You know what I'm saying? But none of us, we don't have primary care physicians. You know what I'm saying? So, like, when they ask, well, who's your primary care? We don't have one. Like, my children and my wife don't go to the doctor every time they turn around. Like, no. They get through what they get through, and it is what it is. So, and I'm not saying that's what y'all should do with y'all children. I'm telling you what I do with my children. And none of my children have cognitive issues. None of my children have anything, right? Like that. So I'm just telling you what I do with my children. And they don't have any issues whatsoever. They're all fit. I would like for them to exercise more because I'm not around. It's 5 days out the week. And yeah. But I like them to exercise more. So that's one thing I'll say. But they are very fit. Like, when I come out, we play soccer together, we exercise. And right now it's sprint season, so we're gonna be getting our sprints in. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna be getting our sprints in. We're gonna be. I can put my son in a soccer camp. You know what I'm saying? So we're. It's just about being active. So my children are active, and that's good enough for me. My children are active. They eat right. They don't need to eat a bunch of sugar. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. That's what's up. Yoga for Oh yeah, I do yoga. Like I do yoga, and I also do animal flow. Let me tell y'all, man, animal flow is the business. Animal flow is the business. I have been doing it for like a year and a half, and it helps greatly with mobility. It helps with joint pain and whatnot for me. You know, it opens up a lot of stuff, and it's fun. It's fun to do. Right? It's fun to go outside in the grass and do it because, like, you can be barefoot and you're doing all the, you know, you just a lot. It's fun. It's fun. So I do that. I do. I still do the Muay Thai and boxing. I still do weight training. You know what I'm saying? I still do that. And these things are important, you know, for health. I'm 44 years old. No one believes I'm 44. You know, it is what it is. Like I'm an example of what I tell people they could be doing to stay fit and stay healthy, right? And I feel better than I've ever have. Like yesterday, me and my wife went for a walk in the neighborhood, and we went down by the pond. And just out of nowhere, I decided to bust out some push-ups, right? Now I do push-ups damn near every day. Like, push-ups are nothing for me. But I pumped out 100 push-ups. You know what I'm saying? I busted out 100 push-ups straight. And that was the first time I'd done that in years. And I don't train to do 100 push-ups. I don't train to do 100 push-ups. But I busted out 100 push-ups. I did 60, and then I rested without my knee touching the ground, without getting up. You know what I'm saying? If you know anything about how the military counts your push-ups during a fitness test, is you can rest as long as, you know, your knees don't touch the ground, as long as your hands don't move, your feet don't get lifted up, but you just go in a downward facing dog, get your rest in, and get back to it. So that, yeah, when I hit 60, I rested doing a downward facing dog. I busted out 20 more, downward facing dog, busted out 20 more, downward facing. I actually did 112, but, you know. Yeah, I'm natural. Yep, I'm natural. I'm not a bodybuilder. I'm more of a functional guy, functional fitness guy. I work out for function, and no, I'm not a bodybuilder. I don't have time to be, you know, dehydrating and trying to cut weight and trying to get down to 3, 4, 5% body fat. I'm not trying to do that. I think right now I'm about 11 or 10. I don't know. I don't test my body fat, but I think I'm around 10 or 11%. I don't, you know, that's a comfortable. That's comfortable for me. Yeah, I'm a natural. I do take creatine. I take what else? Iodine. I put iodine at night. Magnesium. I get good sleep. I try to get good sleep. What else do I do? Yeah, that's about it. I eat a lot of beef. Yeah, those 100 push-ups were fueled by beef, because it wasn't beef that morning. So we went in the morning. I didn't eat anything. So I basically woke up, fasted for a little bit. But yeah, I had eaten a big beef burger the night before, 2 patties. They called it Clint Beefwood at the restaurant I got it from. So yeah, but it's fueled by beef. Fueled by beef and two hamburger buns. So I'm not strict carnivore. I'm not strict keto. I was strict keto to drop all that excess weight I had, and now that I'm at a comfortable weight, I just maintain, and I make sure I get my cardio in. You know what I'm saying? I do more cardio than resistance exercises, right? I do about an hour and a half, 2 hours of cardio a day, and about 30 minutes of resistance, and then I got the animal flow and the yoga. So that's what I do. Make my chest crack. What you mean, man? No, I'm not doing all that. Test boosters. Yeah, I do take. So I use More Place, More Dates. I do use his test booster. It has a tongue and the Doja aggressive, whatever you call it. I do take that. I take that. From Greg Doucette, which really hits me with my cardio. I take probiotic ginseng. That shit right there, I put that in my tea before I go to bed, and like it just is great for blood flow. You know what I'm saying? My blood pressure right now is like 106/60. That last time I got to check, that was a couple weeks ago. So it's like 106/60. No. Actually, it was 102/60. My bad. So my blood pressure is low normal. I had great blood work. There were some, there are certain things that are a little high, but that's okay. Because the other markers that go along with that they don't want to be high together was in normal range. So like AST and ACT. So AST is an enzyme that exists in the liver and other organs. ACT exists only in the liver. So if you have high AST and high ACT, that's when they get concerned. So my AST was higher by a few points than the normal range, but it's all about what your baseline level is. But everything else was in normal range. My A1C was like 4.4, so that was that. My cholesterol was so my LDL was 120 something. I think my HDL was like 60 or 70 or something like that, and my triglycerides were like 60 or 70, some shit like that. I don't know. Yeah, no, it's lower than 106. No, it's only too low if you're under 100. So 101/60, that's low. The concern is when it starts getting into, like, let's say you had 90/50. That's when it gets low. And it's only a concern if you have symptoms along with that. So if you have low blood pressure with symptoms, that's when it's a concern. But I don't have I'm not in the bad range of blood pressure. No, it's just my heart is in excellent condition. I have great blood flow. So the better blood flow you have, the less your heart has to work. The less your heart has to work, the lower the blood pressure is. So what was my total testosterone? The last I checked was like 3 something, right? But my free testosterone was in normal range, and my sex hormone, globulin, whatever the fuck, SHGB and all that was in a good range. So my free testosterone is within normal range, and my sex hormone, the sex binding, whatever the fuck they call that, SHBB or whatever fuck, is in normal range. So yeah, I don't have super high testosterone. I don't have 800s, 600s. Nope, it's within, and that was a couple years ago. So I don't know what it is now. I don't know what it is, and it's. I would have to. So let's say I would have to go to an endocrinologist and convince them that I need to get all those levels checked. Like, my sex drive is low, I'm at low energy, because they don't really want to do all that unless you do that. So unless you go to one of those online clinics where their whole purpose is to get people on testosterone. So the approach they take is, okay, we are specifically here, we'll draw your blood, we'll see what you need, and then we'll get you your test or whatever your hormonal thing that you need. So, but I don't feel the need to get that. I don't think I need any test. Like I said, I take the test booster from Gorilla Mind, and I think I'm good with that. I should be 600, 800. I don't know about all that. I don't feel like I should be. Go see a doctor. They will hook you up. I don't want to start taking that. Because like I said, my free testosterone is within good range. You can have 30,000 in your test. Your test could be 30,000, but if you have very low free testosterone, it's not, you're not doing anything. And like I said, if I start taking that, I gotta take it for the rest of my life, right? So I would have to take the test for the rest of my life, essentially. Yeah, you can get it back to normal range or the range that you had it before, but it could take a long time, and I don't want to have to get stuck with. So let's say I go get some test booster. I go get some tests, right? I'll go get testosterone replacement therapy, right? And I have to get this maybe like 150 mils or whatever it would be, 100, 150, 125. Well, guess what? My body will stop producing testosterone on its own, right? And so what happens if shit hits the fan and I can't get any more tests? Now I'm assed out. Now my test is going to crash, and I'm going to be low energy, and I'm going to be fucked off in the game. If I go get testosterone and shit hits the fan and I can't get access to it no more, I don't want to be in that position. So I'd rather do whatever I can naturally with shit that I have access to, that I don't have to go to a doctor to get, and just, that's it, right? Eat the right foods, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I don't know what my test is right now. That was a couple years ago. That was like before I left California. So that was like 2020, I believe. The last time I got my testosterone checked. So, but like I said, I don't have low test symptoms. Trust me. My sex drive is my sex drive is still on point. You know what I'm saying? So I be getting it in. My energy's good. I feel better than I have in shit. I mean, I feel as good as I've ever been. Like in my 20s when I was an active military member. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I could run circles probably around my old self when I was in my 20s. Your normal levels will come back, hopefully. And see, that's the hopefully, right? But who knows? Who's to say that it ever will? Like, or how long will it take? Yeah, I don't think I need to do that now. If my freeze testosterone crashes and I start feeling very low energy and I can't get it up no more, and I like just feeling depressed and all that other shit, maybe I'll look into it then. Hell yeah, I'm laying. 22 Roman says chop some wood. Hey, yeah, just got to be active, man. You got to get that blood flowing, you know what I'm saying? You got to get nutrients down where you need to get them. You know. Oh, yeah, I still lay pipe like hell yeah. Trust me, the pipe gets laid like it's supposed to. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got no issues in that area. Trust me, I'm good. I'm good with that. But one thing I did look into though, if anything, is because I do sit a lot while I'm driving back and forth to Georgia, between Georgia and South Carolina. I was thinking about getting a pump. You know what I'm saying? Because the benefits that pumping has is it goes beyond just making sure you did get hard, right? It also frees up your lymphatic. It does a whole lot. So pumping down there, getting up with a penis pump, also gives a lot of great blood flow everywhere else in your body, in different places in your body, right? And this is what the research has shown. Like, so let's say you do have a low test. You might, if you pump, you're gonna open up a lot of shit down there and allow your testicles to release more testosterone in your body. It also clears out the lymphatic system. You know what I'm saying? I heard that it relieves back pain and all type of shit, right? Inflammation. So that's one thing I might do is get a penis pump just to get that shit, get the blood flowing a lot better. You know what I'm saying? Because I do sit a lot, unfortunately, right now in my job. Like I said, I still get on solid. My shit still be on point, but it's more than just that, right? So at my job, what I'm doing right now, I transitioned to more of a desk job, and I'm not getting as many steps in as I used to, right? This time last year, I was getting about 12 to 20,000 steps in a day from what I was doing at work. Now I get about 4,000 or 5,000 because I'm doing this 3D modeling at work now. I'm doing a lot of 3D modeling, so I don't get the steps in that I used to. So, one good thing that you can do is get a penis pump and then get a crack. Yeah. Yeah, six kids. Trust me, ain't nothing going on wrong down here. But again, like I said, I heard there are some benefits to pumping that go beyond just getting the dick hard. Yeah. What the fuck is that? So that's one thing I'm considering. What the fuck is that shit? There's some weird looking shit on this. Anyway, I don't want to touch it with my hand. Anyway, so there's that. So I mean, somatic therapy, exactly. So I mean, I might do that just for keeping things flowing. Because honestly, a lot of people sit a lot more than they need to, and I'm in that position now. So, but hopefully, starting the next couple weeks, I'll be able to be out in the field a lot more. Now that the project is coming along, I'll have less 3D modeling to do, and I'll have to be out there making sure that the shit that I modeled got put in the same way, and I'd have to update, little shit like that. So I'll be out walking a lot more and getting more into quality control, which is what I really wanted to do. Anyway, that's a long story. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna get off of this. I'm gonna take a little break before I start my video, do my live stream about the boxing situation. If y'all want to come back and check that out, that'll be around 3:30 or so, or whenever I get on the 75. So right now I'm on the 20. But it's telling me to take the 285. Oh, that must mean Atlanta's on fire right now. I had to go through Atlanta to get to the crib, and there's a bypass 285, and it's telling me to get on 285. So that is going to suck ass. That means the 20 going through Atlanta is not going to be a good look. Anyway, guys, so I'm basically going to get back on once I get past all that and get back on the 20 or the 75, and we'll get it cracking. Garcia getting that work. Oh, got a Garcia fan up in here, huh? ATL is dangerous. I keep the heat. You know what I'm saying? And hey, South Carolina is a constitutional carry state now. Georgia's a constitutional carry state. It's a lot less dangerous now. Trust me on that. Trust me. The crime, it shows. Anyway, I'm going to get back at y'all later. Much love. Like, share, subscribe. And we're going to keep marching forward toward freedom. Peace.